Hello everyone! Welcome to a 3v3 battle that I played with Surreal and our pal Mankirk here, who is in the middle. Surreal's going to be on our left flank, I'm on the right. We are facing off against three Dwarven players in this themed battle. It kind of happened by accident. This wasn't really set up to be a Beastmen versus Dwarf players, but that's what we got. So, there's a lot of units here. We have a total of 4 Cygors currently on the field. There will be 2 additional, or actually I think 3 additional Cygors summoned in the course of this battle. Both Mankirk and me brought a Brave Shaman of the Wild, so we can both summon them, and then Surreal is being led by Malagor, who can summon one. There is a total of 6 Minotaurs on the field, 2 brought from each one of us. There are 2 Gorbals for me. There is a single Gorbal for Mankirk and a single Gorbal for Surreal. Surreal also brought 3 Ungor Raiders. He has 2 of these Razorgore herds. I have a Razorgore herd. I think Mankirk has a Razorgore herd. And then we have a frontline mixture of Ungor Raiders. A couple best scores. I think there's 4 in total for our army. Then we also have like 5 Gore herds. Most of them with shields. I have a few Ungors here. I'm being led by a Beast Lord. Mankirk is being led by a Kazrak the One-Eye. And then again, Surreal is being led by Malagor. A lot of units in a 3v3. Try to get over this quickly. Over here, we have a front line of Ironbreakers here and here. A lot of Corridors backed up here. I think they have 3 Iron Drakes in total, one of which has a Flamethrower over here. The other 2 are the Trollhammer. There are 3 groups of Slayers, I think, mixed in this army. We have like 4 Organ Guns and 5 Cannon emplacements for them. We have the Peak Gate Guard here, a bunch of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, a bunch more Miners in front of them. More Corridors on the right side here. We have 2 Ungrams, one on each flank. And then in the center, I think we have Grombrindle. Where is Grombrindle? I know he's in here somewhere. I think that's him. No, that's Ungrim Ironfist. I guess Grombrindle's on their enemy's left flank, or right flank. There he is. But yeah, so much artillery. Actually, these are a couple grudge throwers as well. So just a bunch of stuff. Master Engineer, a couple Runesmith mixed in here. This is going to be a little chaotic. Just a little bit, because I don't usually cover 3v3s, but let's get going. The general plan here, Mankirk's forces are going to kind of go up the mid to right side, like right here. I'm going to go around the right, and Surreal is going to curve around the left. Also, Surreal has some Gore Herds Vanguard deployed out here. Actually, I think that's Mankirk. Mankirk's Gore Herds. So we have a bunch of Cygors, so we're just going to start opening fire with them. Because we have 4 in total right now, but again, we're going to summon 3 additional ones. It's a lot of Cygors, and they do, or can do, a lot of damage against the Dwarven players. So we are going to be unleashing their rocky throws here. And I believe initially they are targeting the grudge throwers here, but we're going to switch to some Iron Breakers and eventually hit some Quarrelers. I'm going to be aiming at these Iron Breakers, and then I think I switch to something. There's a lot of dwarves here to throw at. Listen, a lot of stuff's going to happen. You can see that I'm being threatened by these Gyrocopters. I forgot to mention, they have a Gyrocopter here, and then they have 2 Gyro Bombers. There's the 2 Gyro Bombers back here that are currently chasing some Chaos Warhounds, of which I think we actually have 2 Chaos Warhounds here. There's one right here, and then there's one deployed over there. I missed those in the initial army setup. And you can see the Dwarven artillery of cannons. They're just opening fire on Mankirk's army because he's the one in the middle. So he's going to be taking quite a pounding from all of these cannons and then all of these organ guns. And again, Surreal and me are going to be going around the flanks to try and get around the front line of the Dwarven infantry. Oh my god, just look at that damage. And we are going to try and get into all of these cannon emplacements to try and stop them. You can see Mankirk is sending in his Chaos, or their Chaos Warhounds right now, trying to silence these group of cannons. The morale of the Chaos Warhounds, not that high, but they do a lot of damage here, though. They managed to almost entirely rout one group of cannons. Actually, they do rout an entire group of cannons. And they're kind of holding really well, although I guess they're only being fought back by miners at this point. But you can see, we can just slow it down right here. Like, half of the front line for Mankirk is dead, half the Minotaurs are dead, and I think Surreal's forces are taking a beating by a lot of this artillery as well. There's this Ungor herdsman, but this is the bulk of his force wrapping around the Dwarven flank here. Again, the whole point of our, me and Surreal's job here is to silence all of this. All of that. We want all of that dead, is our goal. And unfortunately, that means Mankirk kind of had to take the brunt of the artillery, and it really shows because, damn, their army is just kind of getting crushed here. But here we go, Gorbel is happening, leaping into combat in these against the miners, but getting shot back by just a high amount of cannon fire against them. Gore Herd's going up against miners. You see we have a Thane over here and some Slayers cheering up this Gore Herd. while I am getting into the Dwarven right flank. I'm going to be tying up some of their forces here with some basic Ungor Spearmen with support of Mankirk's Minotaur force. And then we're going to be wrapping again around the Dwarven flank to try and get into their squishier bits. One of my Gorbals is over here dealing with some Hammerers. Ungrim is nearby. I'm going to be assigning both of my Gorbals here shortly to stop what they're doing and fight Ungrim Iron Fist to try and shut them down early. Razorgore Herd and my other 2 Minotaur groups, along with our Brace Shaman and our 2 Bestigore groups that I brought, are all going to be going around the flank and get behind. Over here, you can see Surreal's flanking operation is going actually pretty well. They got around the front line of the Dwarven Warriors, and they're going to be coming around, and they're just kind of crashing down behind the Dwarven lines like that. And then Mankirk is kind of left to support us at this point because most of his forces have been crushed. He does have some Gore Herds, I think, mixed up here as well. But you can see his leader, Kazrak the One Eye, and his Gorbul just got caught up with Ungrim Iron Fist, these Peak Gate Guard, and a lot of Dwarven warriors with great weapons. So the Gorbul is actually going to be shut down there pretty quickly. Over here, my 2 Gorbuls are about to go on Ungrim. Actually, you can see Ungrim's already taken a lot of damage from our Beast Lord, and he has taken some damage from our Gorbuls already, but they got kind of preoccupied with the group of Slayers and Hammers that were nearby, but we're going to reassign them to Ungrim. And Ungrim, honestly, they just have no chance against 2 Gorbals. Not many things do in this game. Meanwhile, our flanking operation is going pretty well. Our Razorback Horde, along with these Chaos Warhounds, are just kind of coming down into these Organ Guns. And then I'm going to be sending our Minotaurs through these Miners to get into the Iron Drakes and the Corridors over there. And you can see Surreal's flanking operation has gone really well as well. Crushing these cannons, and I think an Organ Gun that's over here as well. He is into that group with this Razorgore Herd. Minotaur is currently dealing with some Miners along with the Malagor of the Dark Omen, but I believe they get reassigned to continue to deal with these cannons. And you can see that very quickly, our center may have broken, but now we've actually kind of formed a line behind the Dwarven front line, which is not where the Dwarves want us. And you can see this entire time, our Cygors have been kind of unchallenged back here to just continually fire at whatever we want them to fire. Surreal's Ungor Raiders are currently being chased off by a group of Dwarven Warriors, actually 2 groups of Dwarven Warriors, and an Ungrim Iron Fist. And so very soon we're going to be switching fire to shut these groups down. You can see that this Brace Shaman is currently in combat with a group of Slayers, which is very odd. So like the Dwarven player is kind of getting overstretched here. So a lot of their front line on the right flank is chasing a bunch of Surreal's units back here, including those Ungor Raiders, while we're just kind of destroying the back line. And also Surreal summoned a Cygor behind the Dwarven line, which is a very rude thing to do. So the initial fire of the Dwarven artillery positions was really impressive and almost destroyed an entire one of our army. But now that we're behind the Dwarven main line and crushing them, the Dwarves don't really have a unified defense here. You can kind of see, like, they're not really strategizing together. I think they're all kind of fighting, you know, for each other, or not each other, but for themselves. Because this player is way out here trying to chase Surreal, and there's really no coordinated defense to try and stop all of our very fast mobile units in crushing their artillery positions, which are now crushed. Over here, my 2 Gorbuls finally finished off Ungrim Iron Fist, so that's really good. And you can see they did not take much damage in return. They just have very high disruption attacks, and they can continually knock down Ungrim over and over. Also, Ungrim is kind of like just a weaker Grombrindle. But because Grombrindle is not actually widely available yet, at least not on Steam, and you had to, you know, get him through codes, or if you're just lucky, I expect not to see too many Grombrindles, so that's probably why we saw 2 Ungrims in this battle and not just 3 Grombrindles, because really, you should bring Grombrindle, I think, over Ungrim in almost any situation, if you have access to him. So now our Minotaur is just having a happy fun time dealing with this Thane and the remaining Iron Breakers that were over here. There were 2 groups of Iron Breakers on this flank, and I think the other one is right... No, that's Slayer. I guess we already routed the other group of Iron Breakers. These gyrocopters have been going around dropping their bombs and firing at us, but honestly, they're just kind of a minor nuisance at this point, and not much of a threat. Our Cygors just still having a very happy time in the backfield here, dealing with random Dwarfian units that are still chasing Surreal's Ungor Raiders, and we're just throwing rocks into them as they pass by. These ones are engaged in melee, so they have a pretty good chance of winning that one. Ungrim Iron Fist, for some reason, is way out here on his own. And then here's Grombrindle. Yeah, Grombrindle is also kind of way out on his own and has left his peak gate guard of hammers to deal with the Cygor and Ungor Raiders. And you can see, like, we have the hilltop. We have their artillery positions. We have crushed almost all of their infantry at this point. All that's left is Grombrindle, a small resistance force of Dwarven warriors and miners over here. And then, you know, random peak gate guard, like, way out there, just way out of position. The Dwarven players, what is left of them, is really spread out at this point, which makes it very easy for our Razorguard herd to shine, because they cannot really be surrounded in this position and bogged down, so you can just kind of pull them out and continually cycle charge the Razorguard herd. Against Dwarven players, if you're playing as the Beastmen, I think Razorgors are nearly essential to bring at least one group. They're kind of like squig groups for the greenskins against dwarves. They kind of serve a similar purpose, but I don't think they're as good as the squig herd is. But again, they serve a similar purpose. And so now we're just kind of crushing the little pockets of resistance that the dwarves have left. You can see a lot of their army is shattered. Ungrim is back here dealing with one of my Cygors in melee, but he is really heavily outmatched. And Grombrindle, one of the fiercest warriors in this game, was too busy chasing like Ungor Raiders and a Cygor to actually do any damage. I don't think he was ever actually assigned to fight against an enemy leader. I don't think. Which is really just a misuse of Grombrindle, that poor white dwarf. So we are actually going to take a victory here, and we have stormed the hill, the heavy fortified position of the dwarves, and just did 2 flanking actions on either side, and the dwarves crumbled. So good game to our opponents and to Surreal and Mankirk there. Let's take a look at the kill count, and we'll probably just do a cinematic pass because I'm kind of all over on that map. I don't cover many 3v3s. It's a lot to cover. So for my army here, Gorbals stood out because they're Gorbals. The Bestigor herds with the flanking action, they got into, what did they get into? Miners, I think a Coroller group or 2, and then did like rear charges against the front line of Ironbreakers and a couple Dwarven warriors maybe. So they did really well. They weren't really contested too much. The Razorgore herd, 110 kills. Minotaurs, almost 100 kills each. Cygor, 127. The other Cygor I summoned probably had a similar amount of kills as well. The Cygors were really not targeted as hard as they should have been. By the Dwarven cannons especially. Those should have been used, I think, in my opinion, to shut down all of our Cygors, because they had a lot. You can see there's 4 groups here. I think that's the only actual person who brought cannons, though. This player brought 1. So they had 5 cannons amongst themselves. 5 cannons focusing 1 Cygor at a time can bring a Cygor down really quick. Really quick, especially if you have a Master Engineer, which I know they had 1 floating around here somewhere. Wait. Yeah, there you are. Odd. The one player who brought the Master Engineer was on their right flank with Grombrindle and was supporting, I guess, the Iron Drakes and these Grudge Throwers. Whereas, like, the heavily artillery-focused groups didn't bring one. Alright. So let's see. For Surreal or Wanton Beliefs up here, Gorbal did pretty well. Bestigors also did pretty well. Razorgors just, oh my god. Like I said, they can do pretty good against the dwarves. Minotaur group, one of them did really well, and then Cygors both did pretty good. And then from Mankirk, his army kind of got shut down, but he got focused hard in the beginning. Still, his Warhounds did really well. Bestigor herd got 44 kills before they were shut down. Cygor only got 19, oddly enough. Maybe they were aiming at the artillery pieces, though, because I know a couple of the Cygors were aiming at the cannons and, like, Grudge Thrower emplacements. Minotaur still did pretty well, though. Khazrak, in most cases, I'd really just save money and bring the Beast Sword over Khazrak. I don't think Khazrak's cool enough to really bring in any situation. He's just not that cool. I mean, honestly, like, none of the Beastmen lords, I think, are that cool, really, but, like, Khazrak especially not. For the Dwarven players here, decent amount of kills amongst their entire front line. The cannons got shut down just too quickly. They were not protected enough. All of these units were in the front, and they went downhill. I think most of them did. Maybe some of the miners came back to protect the cannons, but there was not nearly enough protection to cover all of these artillery pieces, and it shows because we just ran in there and crushed them all. The Peak 8 Guard, though, the ones that were chasing those Ungor Raiders, they got a decent amount of kills, but they were really kind of out of position there. For the Grombrindle here, they did get 69 kills, but I don't think any of that was against any enemy lords. Maybe he went to fight the Khazrak the One Eye. I'm not entirely sure. The 3 Ironbreakers, one of which did pretty okay, I guess. And oh my god, experience rank 9. Whew. Experience rank 9 on like all of these units. That's a lot of money to spend. No wonder this is such a small force. Interesting. Okay, well, decent amount of kills, honestly, amongst most of this army here. Especially these Iron Drakes. Well, actually, they're very expensive. And these ones only got 17 kills. That's kind of, well, anyway. There's a lot to try and defend, because we had our our flanking maneuver was just really strong, and this player didn't have enough melee units. They only had 3 to protect all of this range, which is just not enough. Let's see, and then for Drygar, 22 kills on their Unkrum, 7 on their thing. This is the player that I was fighting. Their Hammers got 115 kills, Slayers 184. They were fighting, or chewing through my Ungor herds pretty well, actually, and my 1 Gore herd that I brought. The Arcana got 24 kills, which is not bad, and then 37 for their Organ Gun. 54 for the Gyrocopter, who was just going around shooting people. Not much I could do to stop it, so it got a decent amount of kills there. But again, good game to our enemies and to Surreal and Mankirk. And let's just watch a cinematic view of this battle, because holy crap, it's a lot of units on the field. It's a lot of Cygors out there. I think these organ guns should be opening up soon. Poor Mankirk's army just took the brunt of everything there. Oh my god, just to see all those Cygros out there would not be a pleasant sight for these poor dwarves. Also, Minotaurs in the face probably not as much of a better sight either. Now, in a 1v1, the Beast Sword would definitely lose against Sucker Iron Fist. In a 1v1. Also, I brought that Vermintide spell with my Ray Shaman. I think it was just the Vermintide spell. I did the Mantle of Barak that I was putting on our Gorbals. That's the one that can increase their melee attack by 58, melee damage by 44%, which on a Gorbal is beyond insane. But they have a chance of taking magic damage during the duration. But that is more than okay, because these Gorbals, of course, have pushes of toughness. So it is a risky sacrifice, or a risky maneuver, but one that's, I think, well worth it. Because their damage just goes through the roof with Mantle of Barak. So I brought the shielded version of the Minotaurs just because, well, there's a lot of fire to block from the dwarves. I assume that there would be. And they have, I think they have 10 additional armor over the very basic Minotaur groups. Oh. Iron Drake fire. You don't see that often. Iron Drakes with flamethrowers, very good against Gore herds and Ungors. And I guess maybe Minotaurs? They have low enough armor, but I think I would still prefer the troll hammers over flamethrowers. Oh man, these crutch throwers MVPs, blocking all that flame. Oh, I think we just missed the fall of Ungrim Iron Fist. Goodbye, Ungrim. And these would be Mankirk's Minotaurs, because they took the unshielded version. Mine coming from behind. These Ironbreakers don't have much of a chance against so many Minotaurs. Not many things would, really. I think this is a Traitorkin spell. That's Surreal Cast over here. That could be Devolve. It's one of the two. I guess we can just check. Devolve. Okay. Traitorkin is the one that's meant for single target damage, I think. I don't use the Beastmen enough. I honestly can't remember. And really, like, most of the major combat at this point is kind of already done. Woo. A lone Ungrim just kind of out here. And then two Cygors just having a field day. Brave Ungrim Iron Fist. Yeah, it looks like everything else is shrouded by this point. I think those are my... yeah. Took out one Ungrim, why not another? Oh, I don't think Ungrim's gonna back up, friends. I think he's just gonna lay there for a while. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this themed battle, which was fun. And there's gonna be another 3v3 coming out tomorrow that we all played, where we play as the dwarves. Yes, we play as the dwarves. So look forward to that one, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, everybody.